Hey everybody, it's your pal Drew Dracy again, and gonna cover some more comics that were randomly picked off my spinner rack. I'm gonna start off with the Avengers, which first time I saw the Avengers, I'm talking the mid '70s. Yeah, I was hooked because you got the best of the best characters usually. Nice Kirby cover. As I said before, if it wasn't a Kirby book per se, Marie Severin or others would do layouts, and Kirby would go from there. But there's a fill-in as far as artwork. It's John Buscema and Joe Sinnott. I can't do much better than them for a fill-in issue. Good Lord. And Jerry Conway is the writer. As I mentioned before, he was editor-in-chief for like all of 5 minutes. Then he decided he wanted to write more, so in order to make the same amount of money he was making, he had to write like 8 books a month. So he kind of hijacked a lot of them. And, there was accusations of lateness with some of the freelances of it, but I kind of wonder if he hadn't hijacked these books for like 3 months. He did it like for 3 or 4 months, and he left for DC. So, he's a good writer, but that's kind of, not cool. But, beautiful stuff. The Living Laser. Wow. And to me, George Perez was busy. He's a regular artist. He was working on the annual. The first Marvel was bringing back their annuals in 1976, and this would be the first one since, like the early 1970 or so. So there's a wizard. A lot of people goof on his name because it's like but I called him the Whizzler for long, like a Twizzler. So. I don't know why. Maybe because wizards just sound so goofy. That is just excellent. That's like classic Kirby kind of dynamics on Cap. And so anyway, the wizard gets he gets hypnotized by somebody, and I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Maybe I will. Look how cool Joe Sinnott renders debris. I don't know a lot of people that could do that. Like, clean and yet crude at the same time. That's just masterful stuff. So, the pen. And then Wonderman shows up. He had showed up the previous issue at, and he's basically a zombie for now. But you know what's funny is when he started to get his noggin back, I kind of liked him. He was sort of like me. He was just kind of like a guy who was completely new to the team after he got unhypnotized, and it was kind of like it made me relate to, like, hey, I'm the new guy in the Avengers, so looking through his eyes, it was kind of neat. It was like I took a liking to him, and I still like Wonder Man. Now Teen Titans. What's funny about this issue, it reminds me, my cousin was coming over, spend the week, and where I lived, there was like 5 or 6 places you get comics. His family lived up on a hill, like way, way high. It's kind of hard to get anywhere easy. But when we come to my place, there was like 5 or 6 places, like National Record Mart, there was a drugstore, there was a 7-Eleven. And so we go around, and he's picking up all these books that he couldn't find, and he had purchased this one, and then we went to another store, and he went to purchase again, but I said, oh no, you got that one already. And he's like, oh wow. So I was like, I'm just a loon. This stuff locks my mind. Anyway, Paul Levitz is back. No. Bob Rozakis, who was also the Answer Man. He had this monthly Q&A on the Irv Novick and Vince Coletta. Irv Novick, I saw his praises before on an issue of Flash that I had, and he like I said, he just doesn't get he doesn't get what he deserves. I'm trying to get back into, there we go. So there you have like a typical wannabe Marvel fight. It's one thing. It took for the longest time for them to kind of pick up on Marvel things at DC. But the one thing they did was, we got to have our heroes fight each other. That's what we're missing. And it's like, characterization goes a long way too. But it worked out. Anyway, Mal, who in the last issue he wore the Guardians outfit, like the Guardian is in the Newsboy Legion and such, and he set it aside because Speedy was saying, "Oh, it must be, you've got somebody else's powers to fight." So he took it personally. This angel comes along, and he gets a horn, and it's actually a ram's horn, also known as a shofar, which I believe is with Jewish religion. I'm not certain. I'm not as well versed in that sort of. Okay, focus, baby. Come on. There we go. So he blows into it. Whatever he kind of wants shows up, and it's kind of a hokey thing, but I love that. Kid Flash dragging everybody around. But look at that art. That's beautiful. Beautiful. And that is I love it. I would love to see more like Green Arrow, Speedy, or Hawkeye panels where there's multiple images, because drawing Archer stuff is tough. I mean, you got to make sure everything fits. You got to make sure it looks like the arrows followed through from where they were pulled and such. So this is a pretty fun issue. I totally dig it. And so he had the horn for a while, and then I can't remember what happened to Mal, but he never had a superhero name. He was just Mal. Now we go to a Stalker. It was around 75 and 76, even 74, that Steve Ditko and Wally Wood did a lot of work together. I mean, they did 4 issues of Stalker. It wasn't a miniseries. It was just, they tried it and it didn't sell, I guess. But also, this came right after both Ditko, inked by Wood, had worked on the Destructor for the short-lived Atlas comics. But, wow, it's so glorious. What a glorious couple there. I mean, that's just stunning. And they have Wood and Ditko had association from way back, because when Wally Wood had the Thunder Agents, Ditko did quite a few backups that were also inked by Wally. And so they've been around, they've been a great team. And, there's the bad guy. I love that. They had, even though the book didn't grab me because I wasn't a sword and sorcery guy back then, come on, show me that bad guy. There he is. I love that. And I would draw that character. I just love it. It's just really impressive. It's very original. In fact, if you used it today, it might be the same way. But good stuff. Now on to the Heckler. This was created by Keith Giffin, basically, and Tom and Mary Bierbaum were a writing team, and Bob Lewis, I think, did the inks. I'm not sure, but the Heckler was a Giffin creation, and love that costume. Now, he was going by, this almost looks like a Ditko design, and one thing that Giffin did was he followed, in this case, Steve Ditko's law of, if you're going to have a superhero costume, if somebody only sees a part of that costume, you'll know immediately who they are. And so it's pretty wild. Although I found the story a little, I don't know, maybe I preferred the ambush bug stuff. I couldn't tell if this was parody or reality, but it's got, it's a real hard read. I love that design. He doesn't really do a lot in this issue. It's and one thing that's weird is, I would say Keith did probably 2/3 of this whole book, and the rest were photo stats. He just, see what's going on there. And it is used to great effect in certain situations like this. I think are all original panels, but too much of it gets tedious. I mean, you sort of saw this in Justice League when he had done it with Kevin Maguire and all that, and that's cool, but wow. But Kevin Maguire would stray a lot. And I just found the amount of copying from previous panels to be a little bit disappointing. And like a whole page like that, another one of those. I like that for some reason. That's just the textures. But yeah, there's just a lot of. It's neat. I love the character as far as a visual. Oh, here goes some more. But the story just didn't grab me. And what's interesting, it only lasted 6 issues, and supposedly Keith Giffin, he went to the DC offices a lot, and if they were talking about sales, and if they weren't what they could be, and if maybe they're going downward, he would pull the plug on his own book. He also, and try the next thing. He did a book called Vexed, which is about, I don't know if it was a male wizard or if it was like a Doctor Who type thing, and then that didn't really work out, so he just said, hey, go ahead and cancel it, and he came up with something else. Giffin was an idea machine, but I would love to see that character, same costume but updated, and a really cool storyline. And then now we follow up through Marvel Double Feature with Captain America and Iron Man, and it is quite possibly the greatest action issue of the year. See this on the stands? How do you not buy this? How do you not this Kirby cover is in your face. The design is brilliant. One thing that was weird though, this thing really took up a lot of space. I don't know if they meant to make it like double feature, like on a marquee at a theater or what. But there we go, right into the thick of things with Frank Giacoia on inks, and I love that so much. How about that? How crazy is that? It's like Kirby. Hold on a second. Let me get a little better shot of it. Thank you for your patience. There we go. It's printed badly, by the way. It's not necessarily my focus. That's wrong. But yeah, this is like really bad old stats. And look at that middle panel right there. It's just Kirby makes it up out of his head. He has basic knowledge but his stories flow. It just goes on, and it's just always satisfying. Look at that. Great. He just would come up with these gizmos that would only make it for a panel. And that's been borrowed a couple times, I think, from Rich Buckler. At least once. There's a lot of, of course there were a lot of poses from this era that were swiped. That's another great thing there. So much going on. And the Z-Ray is finished. Mankind could rest easy once more. So, bang, you get a lot of story there. Now we go into, oddly enough, Frank Giacoia is inking Gene Colan, which is intriguing because Gene Colan works like in halftones a lot, and Giacoia is a solid black and white contrast sort of inker. And I think he works on both quite well. Titanium Man. I love this guy. First time I ever seen him. There was a page in between that showed like a bunch of big panels where Iron Man's like hearing, thum, thum, thum noises. And it turns out that was like a surprise around the page turn, but not in this case. How about that? I love that guy. There's a couple panels where, he's just an ominous looking dude. And he talks about this guy named Half Face who got his face damaged during the war, and these last 3 panels, they just look so ominous. It's like, I just love it. I know I sound like a moron repeating myself, and this is a sensational page. That is just great. And you can really see the Giacoia on the panel where Iron Man goes limp. And more and more goes on. He takes off. I love the shadows here. This is so great. For the sake of my country, I've got to stop him. But how? How? Next issue. How? That was genius. I'm trying to see if Stan wrote this or if Archie Goodwin did this. Oh, yeah. Stan was still writing this. Shortly after, when Iron Man this is a reprint series, by the way, from the 60s, and it was right before they got graduated to their own titles. And Iron Man right away, let me think. Yeah, George Tuska. Oh, wait, excuse me. Archie Goodwin, legendary writer from Warner magazines, and he took over on Iron Man for a couple of years and did a really great job on it. And Archie's done a ton of stuff since. So that's it for now. I've gotten under 15 minutes, and that's my goal. And I got my first run. Talk to you later. Have a great day.